event coming up, and in fact, it will feature a gentleman who we've been anxious to see, the NABF Lightweight Championship, which will be contested here tonight. Stevie Johnston is the man that holds it. Dave has a look at him.
Keep your eyes on Denver lightweight Steve Johnston. His big knockout record includes some quick victories, like this 2-round triumph over Balam Nesruddin, who succumbed to a big shot. Johnston displayed his hard-punching hand speed in the 9th round TKO over Sharmba Mitchell. Here, Johnston showed all his weapons. It's been a comfortable run for Johnston ever since turning pro. He displays a southpaw style opponents have struggled against. Johnston also makes taller opponents punch down at him and miss. Johnston considers himself a smaller version of the master of elusiveness, Pernell Whitaker. And although Whitaker is in a class by himself, Johnston is climbing. He's ranked as high as 3rd in one organization and could be focusing in on a title shot. But he does not want to think too big, too fast.
There is Stevie Johnston, the man who would be king. He thinks he's going to be lightweight king in the near future. And first, he's got to beat Openo. And how's he going to do it, Dave?
Well, Al, he wants to show the effective jab that has been his trademark. Openo with a big layoff, he wants to exploit what should be ring rust in his opponent tonight. Openo backed Johnston up. Nobody's been able to do that lately. And focus in on a body attack, try to slow the movement of Johnston.
Those are, of course, the AutoZone keys to victory. Here are the NABF rules.
And the NABF, the 3 knockdown rule. No standing 8 count. Only the referee can stop the fight. 10 points to the winner of a round. 3 judges score the fight. The referee does not figure into it. And a fighter can be saved by the bell only in the last round.
So all that having been said, Michael Buffer's in the center of the ring to tell us about these 2 fighters.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated, along with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. This Bud's for you present the featured bout of the evening. This contest is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. Chairman William Eastman, Vice Chairman Willie Buchanan, Executive Officer Richard DeCure. Physicians at ringside are Dr. Robert Carnes and Dr. Paul Wallace. This bout is also sanctioned by the North American Boxing Federation. Supervisor ringside for the NABF will be Juan S. Nunez. Timekeeper assigned is Mike Millsap, and the 3 judges will be Raul Caiz, Larry Rosadia, and Al Siciliano. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Ritz Carlton here in Rancho, Mirage, California, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the NABF Lightweight Championship. When the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Pat Russell. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white with red trim, and weighing in at 132 1/4 pounds. He comes to us from Hawaii with a record of 19-9, with 4 draws, 14 of those 19 victories by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger, Paquito Openo. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the dark blue with silver letters, and weighing in at 135 pounds. From the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado, he brings a perfect record of 15-0 with 10 KOs. Introducing the NABF Lightweight Champion, the undefeated Stevie Little But Bad Johnston.
Steve, you had your instructions back. 12 rounds for championship. Questions of you. Touch your gloves, go back to your corners.
Hey, Stevie. There's Paquito Openo, who has got a tall order, as Davey told you in the open. 19-9, came in here with 4 draws, 14 KOs, and across the way, the man that some people believe could very well be a lightweight world champion in the near future. That is Stevie Johnston. And I have got to say, the last time we saw Stevie Johnston back in Chester, West Virginia, against Fred Valera, That was as good a performance overall as we've seen from a fighter in a long time.
He really put it together, and right on the heels of the Sean Bay Mitchell fight, which had been his breakthrough into the big time, got the confidence off the Mitchell fight. This is somebody who had an extensive amateur background and was not far away from the Olympics in 1992 and coming into his own.
Lost to Vernon Forrest for the berth in the trials of the Olympic team in 1992. He felt he could have gotten a nod and gotten on that team. So distressed, he decided to pass up being an alternate.
Also, that was a good year to do that, with the alternates not going anyway. But he made a statement about what he thought was a bad decision going into that and came up pro.
This is a quiet room at the moment. We're in the ballroom here at the Ritz Carlton, and it's not buzzing at the moment, but
somebody just disagreed with us.
I think so.
They were on the far side of the room.
I didn't like what we said. But I'm sure it'll get heated up here as Stevie Johnston goes after Paquito Openo.
And Stevie Johnston showing you how a fighter should be warmed up, too, as he came out. Nice beads of sweat on there. You don't want to be dry. You want to be right into your flow.
Halfway through round one. This one's scheduled for 12 for Johnston's NABF lightweight title.
Well, so far, Paquito not doing what he wanted as far as backing Johnston up. He knows that he must do that. Looks like he's been content here to be in a countering mode, and Steve Johnston hasn't made too many mistakes.
His last outing, Johnston defended his NABF title, knocking out Howard Grant in 9 rounds. And Openo, who has not fought since July of 1994 when he beat Eduardo Dominguez. That fight in Honolulu, he fought a number of his fights when he moved to Honolulu.
And now at 29, he wants to make sure that every fight is a big one. That's a tough thing to do, though, because there are stepping stones, building blocks you need. And this is not the building block that you come in on.
No, not the easiest fight to come back to. I mentioned at the outset in the tease that Stevie Johnston said 2 of the fighters he patterns himself after and admires the most, Pernell Whitaker and Marvin Hagler. I don't think you could pick 2 better role models in the ring to pattern yourself after.
And he has done something to emulate them at times. Certainly the boxing ability of Whitaker, and at times the sudden power that Hagler would show you in every fight.
Especially in the latter part of his career. Round 1 is history. And we will be back for round 2 here in Palm Springs. Stay with us.
Prime as a player.
Isn't that something? Well, we head into round 2. Now, you came out here and you've been having a nice little vacation with your wife. You're going to stay over a few extra days. Her sister, Audrey, is out here visiting as well.
You're making this a big one.
And but you haven't. You didn't bring the sticks out, did you?
No, I'm thinking that maybe rent some sticks somewhere, not have to carry them around the plane. And there's so much to choose from out here.
Good thinking. You see, that's why you're huge in this industry. All right, so Dave's vacation notwithstanding, here's the punch numbers.
Johnston with a tremendous edge in round 1, and Openo with a single-digit connect percentage. Pretty astonishing there. And Johnston, utter domination here. And he did it quietly.
And you know what? Actually, that's exactly the way he does things in life, and that's part of the reason why sometimes maybe it's hard for him to get the attention he deserves. Another fighter, generally in his weight division in this part of the country, Shane Mosley, who we've had on our show once or twice. I always think of these two, even though they're not exactly the same in style, they're at similar weights. 2 young fighters that maybe don't get as much notice as they should. They're supremely talented.
Very business-like demeanor. They're not outspoken. All they do is come in and do their job.
Yes.
So it takes longer, but when those guys get to the top, they can handle it better.
Very good point there. Johnston is ranked number 3 by the WBC. Good straight left hand by Johnston.
Johnston hoping that Miguel Angel Gonzalez moves up out of that weight class and that he will fight Evander Johnson for the vacant title. If that happened, his title fight would not be very far away. Probably would happen this year or by the winter, early next year.
Gonzalez fighting on the card in Las Vegas. About a minute left to go here in round 2.
Johnston has his pick of everything he wants to throw at Openo here. Now, Openo is not doing anything to cut off to set up his right-hand lead, the double left hooks, which you want to do against the southpaw. Now he's trying to pressure a little bit. But he's been moving back. Can't do that against Johnston.
Miguel Angel Gonzalez fighting Lamar Murphy, defending his WBC lightweight championship on Saturday, tomorrow's card. And there is talk, as Dave said, that he would move up in weight. Final seconds here in round 2. Stevie Johnston has had control of this round, as he did round 1. We will be back for round 3. We hope you will be too.
In Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, people drive for miles around just to see Don Ballard. Because when it comes to car repair, well, there's not much in.
Well, whether it's a lefty or a righty coming at you, you can't win going backwards. And Openo forced backward. That's why his left hook missed, and why Johnston was able to get a big left hand in just after that.
We head into round 3, and you know what I got to stop doing? I got to stop goofing around with the comedy box guys when they're supposed to be watching the fight, counting punches. So we missed 6 punches in the first part of this round, only because I was distracting them. So when you see the numbers for round 3,
Add 6.
Add or subtract 6, but I'm not sure which because it's hard to tell. And now these are accurate though because I didn't bug him in the last round.
Well, that's about a 7-to-1 ratio for Johnston over Openo here. That's pretty strong for just 2 rounds into a fight.
You know what? Openo would like a recount, wouldn't he?
He most certainly would.
11 punches landed in the first 2 rounds. Not too excellent.
He might want to distract the punch that guy's himself.
It's not an excellent adventure for him.
Well, he could make it better, though, if he opens up here and gambles a little bit. Now, he's already being outpointed, outclassed so far. He needs to take a shot with a lead right hand here, as he tried to do right there. Some double left hooks. Has to try.
Well, he is missing by a huge amount with those left hooks he's throwing against Stevie Johnston. And, you know, Stevie Johnston, not to beat to death this analogy of a Pernell Whitaker, but one of the things that Johnston does, though nobody does it as well as Whitaker is, he makes people miss.
And you saw the connections in the first round, 9 punches, single digits. That's something that jumps up at you and makes you realize again what a very strong defensive fighter he is. And he does it by going on angles, by smothering, by moving to the side, and always thinking 2 things at once.
And there's while you were speaking, he was giving everybody a graphic example of just what you were saying. I love to watch him fight. I have to tell you, we saw him against Valera, and I'll tell you what, in that fight, and we made the point, Fred Valera really was fighting well. It reminded us a lot of the Santos-Cardona fight with Pernell Whitaker, where Santos-Cardona fought very well and still couldn't land a punch.
But the fight of his life, almost.
He really did. I mean, he's never been better, and he just couldn't get anything done.
Yeah, there are some people who will make you appreciate fundamentals. This guy is one of them.
Half a minute left to go here in round 3. It is scheduled for 12. Stevie Johnston in the blue trunks. Paquito Openo is in the white. Johnston, the NABF lightweight champion, and defending that title tonight and doing very well so far.
There are times when Openo comes forward, it looks like he's walking through a nightmare.
And, you know, Openo landed a couple good hooks to the body, but took some great shots in return for it. We'll be back for round 4.
This is me.
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Honey, do you like my new dress? Like this one? How about this one?
You know what you like. A spicy, beefy Slim Jim.
Floor, please. Thank you. Still stuck on 3, Phil. Unfulfilled. Trapped. Going nowhere. Register at Valencia, Phil. Their college courses help you move up or even change jobs. And their career program grads have a 95% job placement rate. You want to get to the top? Start at Valencia.
Well, you really can't teach all of this. This is instinctiveness here by Johnston as he plows in, lands, gets the elbows up, blocks, moves to the side, ducks, and then goes back into his punching. And just for punctuation mark, keeps his balance.
He is an outstanding boxer. We head into round 4. Stevie Johnston, the NABF lightweight champion, who is 15-0, is in the blue trunks. And Paquito Openo, who is 19-9 with 4 draws in the white and red trunks with the gold star. And these, here's our numbers.
And Johnston with a strong edge, a ±6. He's right there. Huge, no matter how you look at it.
Even if I made them miss a couple of punches, I think you get the idea.
The percentage, 66% during that round.
Johnston using this ring. It's not a huge ring. Oh, nice counter punches by Johnston. You know, he doesn't normally have this much movement, but here's the scary part about Stevie Johnston. If he wanted to just move around like this, he could do it and win a lot of fights that way.
Wouldn't improve his marketability, but he would win the fights.
It would not. You're correct. You are correct, sir.
Thank you, sir. And here in what looks like a 20-foot ring, he's done the most with the space that he's been given. By just studying opportunities and moving and looking for a place really to uncork the left hand, which he hasn't done that much in this fight here.
Openo, who, as we've said, is coming in here off a layoff of over a year, and that's difficult, facing a slick southpaw. Openo moved to Hawaii in 1994, and had all of his fights during that year in Hawaii. We should only be so lucky.
We'll do our next stop. The Palm Springs. You know, Johnston can make you look like you've got ring rust even when you don't have it. And Openo coming in here, showing them signs of that already. It's a double nightmare for him.
Under a minute left to go here in round 4. Good hand speed by Stevie Johnston. Johnston has 10 KOs among his 15 wins. He's not a one-punch knockout artist, but he can get guys out of there.
And he has settled into a groove with this round just to win the round. He can win just about any round doing this. He could be another Whitaker-type guy as far as when you go out later and look at the rounds he's lost in his career. There won't be very many.
Much like Michael Nunn early in his career and Roy Jones Jr. and others. What we got? We'll all be here on ESPN as the preseason winds to a conclusion is what I meant to say. It could be a conclose. That would be a double nightmare. Verbally, much like what you talked about earlier. We move ahead here, folks.
And in conclusion.
Yes, thank you.
Johnston with quite an edge just through 4 rounds of this fight to be up by well over 100 punches. And look at that percentage of connections here. 45% different. He is really on his game. Almost an impossible guy to beat when he's fighting this well.
So here in round 5, Johnston continues to dazzle Openo with his boxing. There's the left hook by Openo, but he's lunging with that punch, and
he is really in a hurry to try to get to Johnston here, who has been on the one gear in this entire fight and been extremely effective.
Scheduled for 12. Steve Johnston in the dark trunks. I think they're really dark blue, aren't they? Against the ropes. There's Openo getting a little work in, but then he gets nailed, and there's Stevie Johnston just zipping away.
And the only reason he got it in is that Johnston voluntarily opened up. And that's the chance. Openo knows he has to try to jump on it. He's trying to here.
You get the feeling almost that at this point in a fight like this, Johnston is looking for challenges for himself. And of course, the one obvious one is, could he plant and knock Openo out?
And at what point in the fight does he want to open up and go for that? He has a big rounds advantage in this fight already. You know, especially for Openo in this bout too. When you've been away One thing that fighters don't have when they come back is the ability to hide punches, be deceptive, and look one way and put punches together. He has been extremely obvious with everything he's trying to throw tonight. Johnston has read it.
Under a minute left to go here in round 5. Scheduled for 12. From the Ritz Carlton Rancho Mirage Hotel here in Palm Springs. Had a delightful stay here in this area. Good hook on the inside by Stevie Johnston. Straight left hand. It would appear he's starting to get to Openo with his power. So maybe that challenge we talked about is one he'd like to meet.
He is trying to sit down here. He's squaring up a little bit, bringing his punches in shorter.
Well, he created more noise in this room, didn't he? Got this crowd excited. This youngster from Denver, Colorado, who just narrowly missed making the 1992 Olympic team. He was about ready, it would appear, for some professional gold and perhaps a title in the process. We stay here and move into Johnston's corner.
Hey, next time, after you hurt him a little bit, next time, after you hit him and hurt him a little bit, don't try to finish in one shot. Put a 3-punch on him, do a reload. I haven't seen a damn reload on it. Why do we do this shit in the gym? Why are we doing the damn gym, man? What we doing in the gym, you doing out here, man? Let's do it. Let's do it, baby. Shit, that reload's there. Hit him with a 1-2, reload, bang.
Well, you'll see Openo get his chance because Johnston opens up, and this is Openo's best moment. Coming in, landed a couple nice punches there. Johnston wanted to trade with him here. Then the elusiveness, get out to the side, and go back. Johnston hooking on the inside there, the right hook now, setting up the straight left hand, which would follow some power coming behind that.
That's Paquito Openo, the 29-year-old, now living in Hawaii, who is trying to get back after over a year layoff, and he picked a tough customer to do it against.
Well, when you talked about the challenge that Johnston wants in this fight, he actually got lectured in his corner between the rounds of things that they wanted more of, more combinations. They weren't happy with the lopsided lead. They want something more than a victory here. They want to keep his flame high and his intensity there for future fights.
Well, we talk about it so much, and boxing is one of the few sports where it exists in that way. Your marketability is almost as important as your record.
It's how you win, and fights you like to win going away, and also not develop bad habits in easy fights. Fighter, if he gets away with some things he should not be doing against some opponents, may be likely to repeat it in a fight that's more important and get in trouble.
A couple of minutes left to go here in round 6. It is scheduled for 12. Stevie Johnston putting his NABF lightweight title on the line.
All the things we've talked about Johnston in this fight, another aspect of him is, with this controlled demeanor he has, he can make his opponents impatient, start gambling, start getting very frustrated, and that can set in at any time.
The biggest win for Stevie Johnston came against Shambra Mitchell, who was considered a real top prospect to perhaps win a lightweight title. That win came in June of 1994. And it's the one that really made boxing fans and the boxing moguls in this world take notice. And then we had him in his very next fight against Fred Valera, and he performed flawlessly. I think we're going back to Chester, West Virginia, the racetrack later on.
It was supposed to be there in October. Always a pleasant place to go back. To put the two sports together.
We had a good time. Dave, your two favorite things, a golf resort like this out here, and then a place at a racetrack.
This tour is getting quite nice.
You're probably not even going to want to get paid for this in the future, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Peter McDew is going to win by a knockout in 1 round. Half a minute left to go in round 6.
I thought he would toy with him for a little while.
Just for a smidge.
Make it me. Somebody take a breath.
Johnston, yeah, with good combinations there. By the way, I will be back in Las Vegas for more Sports Center coverage tomorrow. The Tyson-McNeely fight. We hope you all tune into it. But for now, we'll go away and we'll come back for round 7.
When sports cream.
When NABF lightweight champion in the dark blue trunks and in the white, it is Paquito Openo, the 29-year-old, now fighting out of Hawaii, who is challenging him and so far not getting it done.
And not getting into the ton of averaging just 8 punches connected around.
Oh, that's not good. Then you knew that. We are past the halfway point. Nice body shot underneath. Openo comes back with overhand right. Johnston hit his head as if he was shocked he got hit.
And when Johnston opens up, that is the opportunity for Openo.
Look at Johnston in this round. Very little movement, setting himself down. You get the feel he wants to go after Openo right here.
And also work on this part of his game. Dangerous, though, to work on this in the middle of a big fight. Or any kind of a fight. And we say working on it because he's not really going for it right here. He's taking the mode of somebody coming on to attack, but he's not opening up with that in mind yet.
Warning to keeping the punches up.
Turn it, left uppercut, right in the middle.
Here in round 7, halfway through the round, Stevie Johnston, who has dominated literally every round of this NABF lightweight fight, now going downstairs a lot more, and maybe that's his ticket to getting Openo out of there, and maybe he figured it out, Dave.
He went downstairs nicely there. He's landed some big left hands in the earlier part of the fight.
For the first time, Paquito looks like a man who doesn't want to be there. He's getting ripped to the body and the head. He's hurt now.
And he's not moving at all. Down he is.
First knockdown of the fight. It might not be the last. Good job. By the referee checking out.
There's no way Openo can stop this if Johnston really wants to open up. Openo is looking for a way out here.
He could close it out in this round, even with the limited time left.
And Openo has to answer at least to please the referee.
Throws a right hand. Not much coming from Openo. Down he goes. With only moments left to go, it stops. The fight's over. They wasted no time. A good straight left hand sent Openo down. And that man, Stevie Johnston, is now 16-0, and he has defended his NABF crown.
Really a nice performance, every aspect of it. First from the outside, then the inside, the lateral movement. He really was on top of Openo from the very beginning. Probably could have ended this fight when he wanted, and figured middle rounds, good time. A guy with a layoff, extended a little bit, test the body out, and Openo could not answer the challenge.
So for the second time in a row, Johnston performs exceedingly well here on ESPN. Last time against Fred Valera, it was textbook, and tonight just as good against Paquito Openo as they bide their time hoping for a WBC world title match.
As you take a look at Openo, Johnston with all the tools in this fight. Jab going over the top there. He's been pounding the body. Gets another one there. Now you see how squared up he is. The hips, the movement. Openo not showing any movement, so Johnston now gambles. And that's a successful gamble. That's a knockdown there. And a one-shot deal will end the fight. He's going downstairs nicely. These are flush shots. He'll make a little room for himself here. Step back and then come in.
Look at that. And boy, you hit it, Dave. Not all fighters would do that, would they? They would stay right in there and try and slug away.
He found some room, and just another good subtle movement by Johnston. And no emotion there.
He's got it all handled. He looks like an accountant there, turning around saying, oh, okay, I balanced the books. 63-7 was the punch edge for Johnston in the last round.
Wow. And Openo had 7. He was averaging 8, so kept him under double digits most of the fight.
Amazing. Michael Buffer is in the center of the ring. Let's go to him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Pat Russell calls a halt to the bout. The official time, 2 minutes, 55 seconds of round number 7. The winner by knockout victory and still the undefeated NABF lightweight champion, Stevie Little But Fair Johnston.
Never was a nickname so appropriate for a fighter. He is little but bad, and for Openo, it turned out bad. He could not get it going here tonight, and he loses in his bid for the NABF title. So Stevie Johnston gets the job done. And when we return here on Top Rank Boxing, Dave Von Tempo will chat with him. Stay with us.